Hi guys, I'm EVM and welcome to the stunning Yorkshire countryside. Basically, they wanted to go on a walk, I needed to do a video, so we did what all great families do and compromise. So I'm doing the video on the walk. Now for me, the channel's getting to a bit of a mini crossroads. I've toyed with this Patreon idea for a while. I thought maybe when I get 10,000 subscribers, do it then. That came and went. 15,000, same thing. Because I think that a lot of YouTube channels get a Patreon campaign way too early. So I thought, no, let's get to a point where it's worth doing one, where there's a benefit to not just myself, but the subscribers as well. And the channel's getting near 20,000, so that's a nice milestone. But I'm also getting noticed by manufacturers and companies. People are approaching me rather than the other way around. So when I say I'm at a mini crossroads, I think it's basically a case of, do I carry on as I are, doing the videos at the quality and at the level I am, or do I try and up the game, as it were? But to do that, I need your help. I need something like a Patreon campaign, because for 4 and a bit years now I've funded this channel, and I can carry on doing it as I have been, but not to this level, not to the level it needs to be at to get properly bigger. So what I want you to do is to basically watch this video and then listen and tell me whether or not you think it's a good idea to do a Patreon campaign for this channel. Because ultimately, you're the subscribers, you're the people that are watching this, and I want to know what you want me to do. Because I'm not so sure. There are pros and cons to this, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Right, well, I'll start with giving you a bit of a background. Okay, I won't do it now because I'm going in a crevice and I'm going to fall flat on my face. Right, well, I suppose a bit of background. The channel's just over 4 years old now. Obviously completely self-funded by myself. And I reckon in terms of YouTube monetization, I've got back about 25-30% in terms of money from YouTube that I've spent on it over these 4 years. I'm clearly not doing this for money, nor do I want it to be a full-time job. I just want, or should I say, the eventual aim for me is to get this channel to the point where I can do things that I otherwise wouldn't be able to, like drive cars at launches, go to things like that. That I find really, really good fun. But it also needs to be self-sustaining. I have a full-time job, I have a family, I have other priorities in life that we all do, and there's only so far I can take this channel using my own means. What is Patreon, for those that don't know what it is? Well, basically, it's a paid subscription. So you pay X amount per month. It could be $2, $5, $10, something like that. And then you might get something like a bonus, like a longer video, earlier access. I don't know. That's something which we can decide in the future if we decide to progress with this. Now, to answer the inevitable question that some people will have, that I just want to get more money out of people, because everyone on YouTube is rich. Every bit of Patreon money I get, I intend on putting back into the channel itself. Case in point, I recently did a sponsored video. You probably saw it, the BOTB, Best of the Best video, with the Jaguar I-Pace and the Audi e-tron. Now, basically, they give me money and said, do a video with an EV in it and mention us. So I could have just done a video with my car, taken the money and then disappeared. But I thought, no, let's do it properly. So I hired the e-tron, I hired the I-Pace. They didn't ask me to do that, that was my idea. So all the money I got from BOTB, and then some of my own money, went into hiring those cars. As you can imagine, that isn't cheap to hire them two luxury vehicles. So that's basically what I'll be doing with the Patreon campaign. The money I get from it will go back into the channel. I can see the pub from here. I wonder how many of you are old enough to remember that advert. It's crazy, isn't it? You go on holiday and think, this is wonderful, but my house is there, and I don't come up here anywhere near enough to enjoy it. Why is that? Right, now there are pros and cons to getting a Patreon campaign. I'll start with the pros and then I'll get on to what I think of the cons. The pros, clearly, I will have more money to get things. You will probably have noticed, if you watch the channel often enough, that audio quality occasionally changes halfway through the video. That is because things like this, that I used to record my audio on, have started to fail. For example, the input on here, if I use a lapel mic, and I've tried half a dozen or more, it's not them. The the line input basically is on its way out. So I can't use a lapel mic at the moment, which is why I'm holding this right now. You know, a YouTube person wouldn't change the audio quality to be worse halfway through a video for fun. It's a lack of options. You end up doing loads of filming, as I am now, and then you get to do the editing a day or two, a week later, and all of a sudden you find that audio recording didn't work, or for some reason the audio device is corrupted whatever you were recording. So you just have to rely on the backup, which in my case would be the microphone built into the camera I'm holding right now. For example, during the Audi e-tron and the I-Pace video, we ended up doing 15-20 minutes of recording, and then the GoPro froze up and destroyed that entire video. So we had to start again. It's immensely frustrating, and clearly I need new video and audio equipment. So that's the first thing that would happen with a Patreon campaign. I would replace the GoPros I have. I would get new audio equipment so I don't have this in and out audio quality problem. I've tried to tot up very briefly what I would want in terms of audio equipment and video equipment, and we're looking at £600, £700, £800, £900 worth of stuff. I can't afford to do that myself, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to. So clearly, that's a significant benefit that a Patreon campaign would be for the whole channel. You need more than an iPhone to do a YouTube channel. You need multiple cameras, especially if you're filming in a car at different angles, and of course multiple audio sources. And that ain't cheap. Let's face it, people on YouTube are immensely picky at what is basically free videos. And I get it, I know that. Now, another issue that you've probably not known about, of course, because there's no way you could have done, is that I've had to turn down some videos that have been really interesting, really good to do, because I couldn't afford to do them. For example, the full electric Mini that was recently launched at the Oxford factory where it's been built. I got invited to that. A bit of a last minute invite, I have to say, but I got invited to that and I thought that'd be really interesting. I could have even interviewed the head of Mini about the car. But ultimately I had to turn that down because I'd have had to get there very early, which meant I'd have had to go down the night before, stay overnight, do the Mini thing and then come back. So basically you've got travel costs and then the hotel costs and whatever else I might have done at the time. But even at its very best, that would have been enough. I'd also had to take a day off work, so that would have been using a day up of my holidays, which I don't think I have any left, or taking an unpaid day. So ultimately, factor all that in, even if you forget work, I couldn't afford to do the Mini launch. There was what was it? I can't remember the car now. There was another launch, a full electric car launch in Amsterdam, again, that I get invited to, and I thought that'd be really cool. I've never been to Amsterdam, but to get the flight there, hotel, and flight back again, I couldn't afford it, so I had to say no. Believe me, that's immensely frustrating. And that is something which could be solved with a Patreon campaign. The amount of videos I could have done, interesting ones I think that everyone would have liked to see, like the Mini launch, like a proper car launch, I can't do because I can't afford to. There's only so far my resources can stretch. And as I said, the channel's getting bigger to the point where people are inviting me to stuff. So I either don't go to them and carry on as I am, or I have to do some sort of funding campaign. So that's kind of what this video is about. They're the pros, and now onto the cons of doing a Patreon campaign, because there are some. And one of them is basically the obligation that comes with doing paid videos. Right, I've properly lost them now. If anybody can see my wife and daughter, let me know. Now, it's different when you're doing a video like this. My kind of reaction to anyone that's unhappy with one of my videos is typically, well, I'll give you a full refund on whatever it costs you to buy this video. It's free, it is what it is, it's the best I can do. But if someone's paying you via a Patreon campaign or anything like that, if you're getting paid basically, it's a very different kettle of fish. There is an obligation there to do videos regularly, decent quality, no problems, and what people are after, like I said, there's an obligation to do a lot more than just, oh, well, I can't be bothered this week, I won't do a video because my life gets in the way. So that's one thing which I have to seriously consider. If I take money from people to fund the channel, I have to prove to them and myself, I have to justify their faith they're putting in the channel by giving me money. For example, when I did the BOTB video, they basically said, well, do you want to do this? I said yes. And then it got very real all of a sudden. I had to basically do a contract that stated I had to do this, this and this by this time. And it's very different when you've got that sort of constraint. You have to do a video that includes X, Y, and Z. You have to do it by this time frame. And that is very different from just doing it when you can. Someone's gone in again. So this is what I have to think about, what I have to wrestle with, basically. Do I want to have that obligation on me that a Patreon campaign will come with? The last thing I want to do is for people to donate to the channel, even if you do get like early access or longer videos or whatever we decide, and then people say, well, I'm basically giving you this money and the videos are no different from what they were, or they're no better, or you know what I mean? I feel like I need to justify why people are doing it, why people are giving me this money by doing something better. So that's something I need to think about. Now, I've watched channels in the past that, when they were very young, basically, like a few thousand subscribers. And then when they get bigger and do a Patreon campaign, we're talking full-time YouTubers here, not like myself, it kind of changes the channel to the bit where that personal contact, that connection you had when they were doing it initially at the start, you kind of lost it. So there's a little bit of that as well. Will it change the channel into just becoming a wannabe TV show, 4K this? Again, I don't intend on going full-time or anything like that. I have a career, I have a full-time job, a mortgage to pay. But I do want it to become self-sustaining, this channel, and to not have to say no to anything, and to have good audio so people don't moan about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have limited time in my life. I will still be doing videos like this in between family things, because time is something that money's not going to change. I'd like to have a gimbal because my arm's falling off right now holding this GoPro. So we're at the stage now where you need to put in the comments what you think this channel should do. I'm going to listen to everyone and decide what's best, I suppose. Right, well, that's pretty much it, really. So please hit the comments now and let me know what you think this channel should do. What should I do? Stay as I am with the equipment I have and occasionally replace them when I can afford to, turn down videos, or go the other way, go down the Patreon route way and risk becoming bigger. Okay, now I'm going to try and catch up with my wife and daughter who, oh, God knows, they'll be somewhere over there. I don't know. Right, okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon, and I look forward to hearing your comments. Ish.